welcome to another Festive 50 podcast. I'm here in Greater Manchester, and I'm Martin Johnston, and up way over in Devon.
It's me, John Johnston, in sunny Devon. It's been very sunny today. Festively sunny and cold.
Been cloudy and cold here. We're betwixtmas recording this, so appropriate for, if we were any good, we would have done these and we'd have got them out around about Festive 50 time, but
yeah, very true.
That didn't happen. But without further ado, we are doing 1989. 1989. That's Public Enemy, isn't it? It is. The number of the funky drummer. Yes, 1989, which was a time when John Peel split his Festive 50s into 10s, like the way we do our rundown. So he played them out on the 20th, 21st, on Boxing Day, on the 27th, and on the 28th. So the number one wasn't revealed until the 28th of December back in 1989.
Ooh.
So there you go. So what else was happening in the world in 1989?
It was quite a thing of a year. We had the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Oh, big.
Very, very big. End of the Cold War and all that. Tiananmen Square protests. The Exxon Valdez oil spill in Alaska. These are all massive things, if anyone was round about in the time. And there was the proposal of a new thing called the World Wide Web.
The what? Oh, that'll never catch on.
I know, that's what I said. Yeah. But yeah, it didn't. That was even the proposal of it from what's his face that worked at CERN.
Tim Berners.
Yes, Tim Berners-Lee.
Tim Berners-Lee, yeah.
Yeah. So he just went. I think we could, because at the time it was just a network based on the network of universities, and they would, they'd just send each other info. There was nothing clever about it. Well, obviously it was clever, but the protocols were very different. And he kind of went, I reckon we could. And a lot of people went, nah, that'll never work.
Yeah.
Silly old them.
Even though we're doing this because of the internet, and we're doing it through the internet, and the internet changed the world, I think the world would be better without the internet.
I think it'd be better without the internet, but with still parts of the World Wide Web. So the internet isn't just the World Wide Web. No. The World Wide Web obviously is wider than the internet. But the trouble with most communication systems is that they're open to abuse until they get regulated. Then everyone goes, I don't want it regulated. Well, that's because you keep abusing it. So,
well, this is why AI is going to, be terrible, because it's too late for regulation.
Yeah.
And B, everybody's making money out of it, doesn't want any regulation. Although the amount of money, the value compared to the money being made is obviously just stupid.
Oh God, yeah. Well, it's like the original web bubble, wasn't it? That everyone invested billions and lost even higher billions.
Yeah. Because
the speed didn't match the growth.
Indeed. And with NVIDIA now being valued at 5 trillion.
Yeah.
And a trillion is 100, is a trillion is a million, isn't it?
Million. Yeah. 12 zeros.
Yeah. So, and the chances of AI causing another crash, a bubble in 2026 is really high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good. Somewhere on, well, I don't know why, because I hate it, but I'm on, and I guess I'm being very very specific about a part of the internet. But I hate Bing anyway. I'm on Bing because I'm on my PC, and one of the questions is, did 1989 really change the world? And the answer is, all is relative. Yet 1989 truly was one of those years that the world shifted on its pivot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Even without
something
the web.
then did. Not just communism as a state practice, but also the idea that the international system is driven solely by state action.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's cheerful. And Time magazine, that terrible magazine. Did you see who they had as their because they always have a man of the year on the cover. Did you see who they had this year?
No, I didn't.
So they recreate, that famous picture of men building skyscrapers and they're having their lunch on a girder.
Yeah.
So they had a load of people on the girder as the architects of AI, as the people of the year, and obviously Musk was on there. I think Peter Thiel was on there. Probably Trump was on there. But yeah, it was just all the terrible people that are ruling in the world at the moment were on the girder. So there you go.
I get it in that, yeah, they can be available to change the world, but only for their own
absolutely
furtherment.
Indeed, their own furtherment is a well way. How have we stopped speaking English?
It's Christmas.
We're AI versions of ourselves. That's what Betwixtmas does to you. You don't know what day it is. You end up stop being able to speak English. And
I forgot the password to my phone this morning.
Oh, blimey. Your life nearly came to an end.
It did. So I thought I'm going to go on
your password for. Whoever needs their password.
Every now and again, my phone goes, "Oh, you haven't used your physical password for a while. What is it?"
Good Lord.
And then, so I thought I'm going to use my laptop, and my laptop went, "Yeah, that's fine." I went to, it was a repeat prescription, and so I went to put it through because that's what I needed my phone for. And so I went to put it through, and I went on the payment thing, and it went, "Use the app on your phone to confirm this."
Yeah. Was it hard to remember? Was it hard to remember?
There's only 6 numbers. I just got them in the wrong order all the time.
Oh, right, okay.
Because it's like one of those things, you don't remember the numbers, you remember the pattern.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, what was it again? Yeah. Locked out for 3 hours.
2 more shout outs for 1989. The Tiananmen Square protest, Tankman, obviously, the tip of the cap, because I, remember watching that either on the news or live, and it was quite astounding. And the other one is Taylor Swift, of course, has an album called 1989. I've got no idea why. Was that when she was born?
Could well have been. It sounds about right.
Yeah. So there you go. But in Festive 50 land, I mean, this is a fantastic year. There's so many amazing songs on this, and right in the kind of bullseye of the kind of music that I like, and let's say shaped me. But yeah, and I think you'd probably be in pretty much agreement. Probably, I would say, before you do say it, I'd say probably, because we were talking about it last time, in here is not really much dance stuff. And I think
not really.
Kind of there's lean into that more than I do. So maybe there's a bit of that.
Yeah, you've got a few kind of proto, well, kind of very proto acid house or acid house influenced tracks, but it's mainly the jangly guitar. Bands exactly. And that kind of thing. Yeah. That's the big thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of grunge just growing, but it is mainly jangle. Obviously Manchester jangle. There is an absolutely huge dance record, bang in the middle. But yeah, so on 20th of December 1989, Peely did 50 to 41. Why don't you read us what 50 to 41 were?
Okie doke. So at number 50, we have Inspiral Carpets with She Comes in the Fall, the Peel Session version. And 49, again, a Peel Session Inspiral Carpets track with Directing Traffic. 48, Family Cat with Tom Verlaine. 47, Morrissey with Interesting Drug. 46, Pop Guns with Landslide. 45, Wedding Present with What Have I Said Now. 44, Snuff with Not Listening. 43 was Pixies with Dead. 42 was the Census Things with Too Much Kissing. And 41 was Galaxy 500 with Don't Let Our Youth Go to Waste.
Some absolute, I mean, not just, well, just amazing songs in that little bracket there.
Yeah.
Interesting to see two Inspiral Carpets together.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll come on to stuff like Family Cat and Snuff.
Yeah.
But I noticed Snuff on there. They were on Workers' Playtime, which you know, is really great to see that Workers' Playtime managed to get a song into the Festive 50. I think it's the only one in the Festive 50.
I think it is. I mean, they were. That was it was their second album. Second album.
And as I'm listening to those, I'm pretty sure this is one of the Festive 50s. Maybe not all the shows, but I'm pretty sure I heard at least part of this Festive 50, two of the shows. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so on the next night, the 21st of December in 1989, John Peel took us from 40 to 31, and 40 was Birdland and Paradise. 39 was Dubsex and Swerve. 38 was The Fall's Deadbeat Descendant. 37 was Pixies' Here Comes Your Man. 36 was Pixies' Wave of Mutilation. 35 Inspiral Carpets again with So This Is How It Feels, another one from a Peel session. 34 was De La Soul's I Know. 33 was Spacemen 3's Hypnotized. 32 Jesus Jones Info Freako. 30, what am I going to? 31, aren't I?
Yeah.
32 I did Jesus Jones. 31 was Bob's Convenience. And 30 is Telescopes. It says Telescopes here. I'm pretty sure it was The Telescopes. And the
I think it was The Telescopes.
Perfect Needle. Yeah, again, God, some fantastic records. Again, you know, two of the biggest and, you know, probably my favorite Pixies records come, you know, cheek by jowl there.
Yeah.
And this is and interestingly, really interestingly, that's the only Fall song in this Festive 50.
Isn't this a time when they were a bit fallow? 89.
Well, they were on Beggar's Banquet, so I would imagine Beggar's Banquet wanted them to put stuff out, and I don't think really there was ever a time when the Fall were fallow.
I was on the levels of Fall output. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Relatively fallow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe it speaks more to the quality of other stuff that was out, and
True.
like you said, the way, you know, the difference in, I think, what am I trying to say? The amount of alternative music that was starting to be available to people.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a massive explosion. This is about the time when, you know, a lot of these, there is still a lot of stuff. Well, maybe not that much, but there's stuff here that, you know, crossovers into the main charts as well. But yeah, this was there was so many different kinds of jangle and variations of guitar music, because this Festive 50 is nearly all guitar music, with a few notable huge exceptions, but mainly. So maybe it's more to do with what was available. And then on Boxing Day, Mr. Peel took us from 30 to 21. I did the Telescope, sorry. So you'll have to start. You'll have to start at 29.
So 29 was the Stone Roses with I Want to Be Adored. 28 Birdland with Hollow Heart. 27 New Order's Vanishing Point. 26 Field Mice with Sensitive. 25 of Pale Saints with She Rides the Waves, with one of my favourite titles for an EP, Barging into the Presence of God. 24 Wedding Present with Bewitched. 23 another Stone Roses, Fool's Gold. 22 808 State with Pacific State. 21 Inspira Carpets with Find Out Why. So Inspira Carpets all over this.
Absolutely all over it. And there's at least another one to come with a quick glance down there. Interestingly, they've got Fool's Gold is the 12-inch. So that's the 953. But I don't think there's another version, is there?
There was a radio edit because obviously at the time they're still radios were still like, I'm not playing a 9-minute song or even very close to 10-minute song. So they did do a radio edit. Well, there's about 14 versions. You know, I think I've got 6 mixes of Fool's Gold.
Okay, fair enough. Always a winner for the dance floor.
Yeah,
Fool's Gold, and I think I've talked about it before. I can't remember the name of the club. Even though I had a 1-year-old child, there was a club that I used to go to, and they used to play Fool's Gold. They used to play Here Comes Your Man, and they used to play Saturn V, but I think Saturn V didn't come out this year, did it? So yeah, this is all, absolutely in my wheelhouse for the time. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and that the 953 is the one that's on the album. So that I don't think I didn't have many singles from this time. It was all about albums. Deadbeat Descendant I've still got as a single, but wasn't really buying many singles at this time. So I think maybe it's just my knowledge of Fool's Gold, and of course the bit that would have been carried on from the radio edit. When you get that drop. I mean, it wasn't even a drop; it's just a gap.
Yes.
When they come back in, that's just one of the greatest moments, I think, in music. Just you have to pick a moment in a song when you think, oh, every time you think they've finished. Oh no, they haven't.
It gives you a half beat to breathe, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly. But that, well put. That breath is so good. So then, after Christmas, on the 27th, the day after Boxing Day, Peely did 20 to 11. 20 was Morrissey's Ouija board. 19 was the Wedding Presents Brass Neck. And then Morrissey again, the last of the famous international playboys at 18. 17, Stone Roses Made of Stone. 16 was Mudhoney's You Got It, Keep It Out of My Face. So yeah, you can tell how familiar I am with that record by the fact that I can say it. Then Cud's Amazing Only a Prawn in Whitby at 15. At 14 was Wedding Present again with Take Me, exclamation mark. What am I going down to? 11. And then at 13, Jesus and Mary Chain's Blues from a Gun. At 12, Dinosaur Jr.'s Just Like Heaven. At 11, we had the Pale Saints with Sight of You. Another one from the Barging into the Presence of God EP. Great to see Dinosaur Jr. Being able to get and again, saying about guitar music, about as far from jangle as you can get, but still, 100% guitar music.
I've got a Jesus Jones twin pack 7-inch of Info Freako, and on the second disc is the Dinosaur Jr. version.
Oh,
so they swap tracks. So Jesus Jones do, which one do they do? Can't remember which one they do, but Dinosaur Jr. do Info Freako. It's a different one, but the thing about Jesus Jones was that Mike Jones, the lead singer, etc., he was very early into digital stuff, and all their tracks were recorded onto DAT, which was very new for the time. And he realized that all of the tracks that they put down being digital, he could swap what that instrument was and completely replay the whole thing as a completely different song. So he made loads of versions of the same song and then would put out the one that he liked the best.
Interesting.
Which I think very, very future looking, very forward looking, as I said earlier. Yeah, he was very much into that thing, and I think that's why he wanted to do other people's songs. And let's say if I can remember which one they did,
and see how they came out.
Yeah.
Well done, Mike Jones of Jesus Jones. Could obviously deserve a shout out for being
only a prawn in Whitby.
Only a prawn in Whitby. Yeah, they comedy music band, kind of. They did an amazing cover of Bohemian Rhapsody, didn't they? Could.
Yeah, they did.
And that was a 9-minute song that the radio was prepared to play.
That's true. Yeah. Although they did usually fade it out quite early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's still a lot going on in every 10 songs. You're looking back going, there's a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
And Cud used to tour with the Family Cat and Pop Guns. They toured with them, and Senseless Things. They were usually the kind of intro band. That's how I remember them.
Were they all on the same label then? Let's see. Imaginary. That was on Imaginary. What did the others say?
Senseless Things were on Way Cool at the time.
Ah, right. Okay.
I think they're all derivations from another. No, I don't think Senseless Things were, because they were
from another mother.
Yeah. Yeah. Senseless Things, for me, that's too low in this chart. Very underrated.
Oh well, there you go. Great to see Mudhoney there. To my mind, the best of the grunge acts. I'd take them personally. I'd take them over Nirvana. And what's the other big grunge band? Pearl Jam.
Yeah. Mudhoney were more on the punker side of
they were genuinely a bit scuzzy, a bit metal pop, really.
Yeah, rather than
pop metal like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains.
Yeah, that's the only version of rock that I listened to. was Alice in Chains, and still have a soft spot for Pearl Jam. Eddie Vedder's voice is quite astonishing at times. It's quite I don't know. There was a recent clip probably on Instagram where someone posted a clip from them doing their first show on I think it was Letterman, and he was just so different to everyone else. When you see it, it's like, okay, he just had a different presence to all the other singers at the time. Even everyone goes on about Kurt Cobain, but he'd been there, done that before Kurt got their foot in the door. I think they were just kind of, I don't know. Go on.
No, I was just going to say that. Have you ever seen the film Eat, Pray, Love?
It's Pray, Love.
Notorious. It's notorious as being a bad film. It's not as bad as people make out, but the soundtrack's really, really good. And there's 2 Eddie Vedder tracks on, like a solo track, and he does a track with Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. I don't know if you remember. Right. Yeah, remember him. And they're both absolutely amazing. So I do get the Eddie Vedder thing. It's just Pearl Jam never really did it for me.
They were playing at Reading one year that I went to, and they seemed very bored. I walked off and saw someone else, even though I, like I say, always liked them, but they just didn't seem to want to be there. It seemed like, when you see a band, you just go, you're not really interested, are you?
No, well, that's never good, is it? So, take us to number 1 from number 10, which went out on the 28th of December.
So at number 10, House of Love with I Don't Know Why I Love You. Number 9, back with more in Spiral Carpets with Joe. James at number 8 with Sit Down. Number 7, Stone Roses, She Bangs the Drums. 6. Stone Roses again with I Am the Resurrection. Number 5, Pixies, Monkey Gone to Heaven. Number 4, Happy Mondays with the Vince Clarke mix of Rope for Luck. Number 3, Pixies again with Debaser. Number 2 with Wedding Present with Kennedy, and number 1, The Sundays with Can't Be Sure.
Absolutely astounding. Number 1.
Yes,
I like The Sundays and I like that song, but that wouldn't be in my top 3 Sunday songs. And for it to be keeping Kennedy off the top,
or any of those in the top 10.
Yeah, or any of those in the top 10 is a real surprise. I have to say. What's really gratifying looking at the top 10, apart from Pixies, the 2 Pixies tracks, they're all British acts. Big, a lot of Manchester in there with Stone Roses and Happy Mondays and Wedding Present. Well, he's from Manchester, but formed Wedding Present in Leeds, didn't he? So, the question we normally ask at this point: are you happy with the number 1? And I wouldn't say I'm unhappy. It's a decent song, but it is a big surprise.
Very much. It's one of those weird things where I look at it and think, I was a massive fan of the Sundays, saw them supporting Throwing Muses in Town and Country Club, possibly. But they were brilliant live. I think because they just did the 2 albums and then went, no, we're done. That's it. We're done now. They've got one of those kind of legacies where everyone just wants more. So they have a kind of a bigger feeling of nostalgia to me than the rest in the top 10, because there's never going to be any more. Whereas all the others are still doing something in one way or another.
Indeed. And they were a couple, weren't they?
Yes.
Harriet Wheeler.
Harry
Wheeler, can't remember his name. But I think they just basically stopped and became teachers or something like that. And
very odd.
I think they had a family and just thought,
it's too much to do both.
Yeah,
which is fair enough.
Well, it says if you click on the link on John Peel Wiki, it says since their releases, Wheeler and Gaverin focused on raising their 2 children. So fair enough.
Yeah. Very, very popular in America.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully that's literally been their bread and butter then. Hopefully,
because I follow their account on Instagram, and you see a lot. I'd say at least 2 or 3 times a week there'd be a post by someone going, "Why has no one ever told me about this band before?" Or "Why are they still so ignored?" And it's always Americans. But a lot of this kind of stuff Americans didn't really get at all, did they? It wasn't really a crossover time.
I wouldn't be able to say.
I can't think of. Looking back, if you look through the 50, In Spiral Carpets didn't really break America, didn't really want to. Morrissey did, went to live there.
Yeah,
Snuff.
He's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah. Census Things had a go because lead singer of Census Things was it at this time? Might have been a bit later. He was obsessed with Soul Asylum. So they did go over to America for a bit. Did okay. Galaxy 500, Birdland. I'm not sure how did The Fall go down in America. I see occasionally you'll see a film with someone wearing a Fall T-shirt, and you think, really?
Yeah, no, I think they've still got quite a big community following in the States. Obviously, much bigger in Europe, as we've discussed before. Huge in Germany. But I think obviously the thing with the States is it's a real slog. I think you just have to do a lot of gigs, a hell of a lot of gigs. And I think from what I know of the bits and pieces I know about, the full story, I think they could never do. They could probably get enough bookings, to do, college towns and stuff like that, but they just wouldn't have the energy, I think, for that, and obviously there was always stuff going on with Mark. So,
always.
I might be, if anybody knows better, then, come and tell me.
I know there was somebody did say that they did go to tour in America, but he was very reluctant and they'd have to literally drag him onto the stage. And their intros would be like 2 minutes waiting for him to actually be bothered to turn up. They'd be playing the same kind of 30-second intro riff while he was trying to be bothered to join in. But then I saw them do that at Reading, so.
Yeah, but then there's also, my wife obviously has my wife. What am I talking about? My wife, my partner, who I'm not married to, has her own podcast. You can check out the 8Z of Manchester, which she did with Simon Wollstonecroft, who's a drummer in the Fall, just after this period. And yeah, he tells stories. I think, but he told a story of you would think, oh, he wouldn't like, Marky Smith wouldn't like being driven around in a limo, but he did. So, but he would kick the rest of the band out of the limo. I think that happened in Australia, so that's one of the stories. But I think Wedding Present, obviously, Gage lives in LA, so I think they probably did enough in the States to for him to be able to move there. And again, as I said about the top 10, you look through this, it's astounding how many. There's only, what have we got? Pixies, De La Soul there. Pale Saints English. I don't know much about Pale Saints.
Yes.
I have to say. Yeah.
Pale Saints English, yeah.
From Leeds. Yeah, so, and Dinosaur Jr., obviously, but not really, apart from Pixies, Dinosaur Jr., not a lot of American stuff in there. So, kudos to all the great British guitar bands in there. So come on then, what's your best song? What's the one that you're saving from the fire? The others dance before you in the flames.
I'm actually going to say the Sundays. Can't be sure.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot going on in there.
After we just kind of decried it a bit.
I think the negativity, not negativity. My shock of it being at number one is more that I'm surprised, because to me, I'm not saying it's the best song there. I'm saying it's a song that needs to be saved more than all the others. Because I think they're a little bit, I don't know. It's
maybe we should be more explicit about the category. So it is saving a song. The song that needs to be saved rather than the best song.
Yes, yeah. So to me, the song that needs to be saved would definitely be "Can't Be Sure." Like I say, there's other songs on there that I probably pay 20, 30 times more often.
Yeah.
But every time I hear that guitar intro, I will stop and listen to it.
I mean, that, we could just keep going with the categories, because the category of the one that you've played the most or are likely to keep playing, that's a completely different thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, it's such one of the dichotomies of music, isn't it? Morrissey can be such a big dickhead and has made some great records. I absolutely love Interesting Drug. I love OK Go's version of it as well. In fact, I might love OK Go's version of it a bit more. But that is an amazing song. And Playboys, what a great song that is. So, but yeah, I'm not saving them though. Not saving those two. Really hard not to save Kennedy or Brassneck. That's a real difficult one for me. Told you we saw Wedding Present this year recently.
Yeah.
Have I mentioned that? Yeah. Really hard. Really hard not to save 828 State just because it's so different to everything else in here. I mean, we'll come on to it because there's a specific category ready for it, and so I had to pick in my mind to save either Fool's Gold or De La Soul's I Know, and I've gone for I Know because again it just changed everything.
It did.
It changed the way a lot of people viewed hip hop. That hip hop could be fun. It wasn't necessarily this angry thing that was still likable, but you were a bit unsure because you're a white person, and are they shouting at me and all that? Are the rappers shouting at me? De La Soul just came out and made everything fun and different, and proper, really interesting use of sampling. So I think I would have to save that. And shout out to De La Soul, one of the best albums of this year was their album Cabin in the Sky. If you haven't heard that, go and grab that. They also re-released an album this year called The Grind Date, which is one of their best albums as well. So great year for De La Soul, and they're getting.
Didn't they re-release that as well? 3 Feet High and Rising. Didn't they re-release it?
I don't think they re-released it, but it was able to be on streaming platforms because they finally sorted out.
Oh, right.
They finally sorted out the licensing. I think that's what happened. So there you go. That's what we're saving. I'm saving De La Soul, and you're saving the Sundays. And if we ever run out of a category, we can go for what song have you played the most? Is there a worse song on here? I don't know if I've got a worse song on here. Are you going for the heard it too much, it's played too much on the radio category?
Yeah, I'm going with that again.
Song at number 8, which is
yes. How did you guess? Sit Down. Oh. They've made so many good tracks, and I saw them support the Smiths when they were a jingly jangly band. So it was before this, so it would have been probably about 85, 84.
They were so good then. They were so angular and different and trying to be different.
Yes. And it is just that repetition of that same, yes. Again, it's the, I'm an indie fan because I listen to James Sit Down. No, you're not. You're not. It's one of the most overplayed radio-friendly songs ever. And it annoys me.
It is, but I think of those we've mentioned before. I think it probably gets a pass because they didn't know that was going to happen.
No, it wasn't written with. Although I'd say there are some songs, and I think Oasis made a whole career out of it, where they write it to go, this is anthemic, not as they write it, but as it's coming together. They know that there's a bit in there that doesn't matter how drunk you get, you're going to remember the 2 words "sit down."
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is my. How many pints of lager does it take to be able to still like this song?
Yeah, none for most people. I really don't have one. I'm gonna just a one-off category here. A song that probably won't get mentioned in any of the other categories, and we haven't mentioned it yet. But talk about jingly jangly. Probably at the jingly jangle. Let's just settle on jangle. Right in the middle of the jangle, you've probably got, who would we say? I don't know, because everything's quite
Pop Guns.
Every Pop Guns might, and then you go a shade towards the rock, and you're getting into Stone Roses, Rock and Dance, and you're getting into Wedding Present. It's harder and harder, and then you move to the other way, and you get a bit more Faye, and you go right to the extreme, and that's the Field Mice and Sarah Records. And like I said about Workers' Playtime, it's great to have a Sarah Records track in here. And Field Mice probably one of the better known So so you've got that. You go all the way from. I'd say you can go get your guitars out. You can go from the Field Mice, and you end up on the other side with Dinosaur Jr. through the journey. So shout out to Field Mice, great song.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with a bit of tweakcore.
No.
But yeah, so I don't have a worst song, so that's why I did talked about Field Mice instead. But it's time for I've Never Heard of You. I think you might be all right. Have you heard of everything on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might be. I got a vague memory of Family Cat, so that doesn't count. Snuff, I don't know a lot about, but I remember you having them. But the two I've never heard of you are Birdland and Bob. So tell me about Birdland and Bob.
Birdland. When I think of Birdland, pure white hair. They got like these white bobs, very early. To me, like shoegazing.
Okay, all right.
That kind of long guitar. So, to me, it's got that kind of Spacemen 3 kind of. They don't sound like Spacemen 3, but it was that kind of
aesthetic. Shall we say
yeah.
aesthetic?
Yeah, we'll go with aesthetic where there's that kind of intelligent guitar playing.
Okay.
So that's what always comes up with me. Bob were again another guitar driven, like the majority of stuff, formed with ex-members of bands like Jamie Wednesday, who went on to be Carter. I don't think they did much after 95, was it? Yeah, 95 they disbanded.
And the
to me, it's hard to describe them because they were of their time, very much right in the middle of, we want to form a band that sounds like all the other bands, but nothing wrong with them. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. I mean, and I think the on the John Peel wiki, the bio says it perfectly. They were formed during the C86 scene. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's basically what you just said. C86 was a collection of bands who were like a second wave of punk who wanted to form bands and were generally pretty good.
Yeah.
And they fall into that category. And interestingly, so what you're telling me is Birdland had Bobs and Bob were called.
Yes. They probably didn't, but you know, when you get an image of a band, I'd see if I can find why I think.
Yeah, no, I've seen him. I've looked on Tim Berners-Lee's great idea, the World Wide Web, and I found the picture of them in Bob's.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
The Birdland album cover, where they've all got the white. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all
and they all look identical.
all looking a bit Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
And tell me about, as I say, because they're kind of like, I think I know you, but I'm not sure I know you. Tell me about Snuff.
Snuff, mad punk band, still carrying a very punk, ska punk kind of ethic. They've got a brass section. One of their best tracks they play is a cover of the Shake and Vac advert, but played at about 50 times the speed. It is an absolute killer every time they play it. What else?
It says that breakup spawned a band called Guns and Wankers.
Yes, Guns and Wankers were for a little while even funnier than Snuff. Snuff are a great band, but have always got this brilliant sense of humor going. So sometimes some people might say that they're a comedy band. It's not. It's just that when they play, they're funny. You know, they're really good audience. My friend Carl and his girlfriend at the time came over from Jersey to go to Reading Festival, and it was his girlfriend's first ever time off the island. And Snuff were playing in one of the tents, and there was this huge guy in the pit in the middle with this massive mohawk, which must have put him at about 6'7" or whatever. And she was only this little punker kid. But when one of their big tracks came on, she was like, "Oh, I'm getting in this," and she ran into the middle, all arms and legs. And this bloke just looked at her and just went, "Nope," and walked off. She was just this whirling arms and legs, and it was just his expression where he just looked at her. I'm not getting involved, and it was one of my endearing memories of Snuff.
Excellent.
And I'm surprised that it's not listening, the track that's from that, because the album Snuff Said, as they call it, because it's too long for anyone to ever remember. Snuff Said something. What was it? Snuff Said.
Snuff Said.
If I can remember
something.
You're going home in a cosmic ambience is the end of it. Snuff Said, but gore blimey govs, turn it down. I remember the whole thing, but it's got what's on there? Keep the Beat, Night of the Lies, Little Git. It's a great song. Has it got both sides? Very much a punk band that you want to go and see and just have a laugh every time.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I the other thing stood out. Two things else stood out for me in their bio. They also spawned a band called Your Mum, which is a great name for a band.
Yeah, that's like I say, every time. I think Your Mum was the drummer, wasn't it?
I don't know. It doesn't say. There's no link through to Your Mum. But and then it says Peel got them in for a session after he saw them at the Sir George Robey. Did you ever go to the George Robey?
I did go to the George Robey, yeah.
Yeah, so that's shout out to George Robey. Great place to go and watch a gig that was, especially for music like that.
Yes.
Right, so next category, the Swing Your Pants Award.
Well, this is a difficult one for me.
The best dance record. Well, it is. There's one that absolutely, is a behemoth of dance music from the time. So, would probably made the main charts, probably be in any dance chart, and that's 808 State, Pacific State. Which was I didn't realize it was on ZTT. But yeah, an absolute killer track, and part of the big Manchester stuff surrounded here by Stone Roses and Spiral Carpets, but very different to all of that. But yeah, incredible song. And obviously, we've got 2 De La Soul tracks there and Dubsex Swerve. So what are you swinging your pants to? Or are you putting them all on all together and getting everybody up?
I would probably start with that Vince Clarke mix of Rope for Luck.
Yeah, it's good choice.
If you see the video, have you seen the video to that version?
Can't. It's not coming to my mind, so probably not.
It's shot in black and white in the Hacienda, and it's just them amongst the crowd, and it is exactly what it was like being on the dance floor when all these tracks were playing. It's perfectly encapsulates the whole feeling of the song and the crowd, which is very rare because it's hard to kind of in a live video. They weren't playing live; they were just in the crowd dancing. And it's if you get a chance to see it, just watch it because it really is exactly what it's like to be in that crowd. And I would follow that up with probably Fool's Gold.
Yeah.
2 biggest dance tracks for me on there, or 2 biggest dance floor tracks as opposed to dance tracks. because that Vince Clarke remix was the first time they went from playing just guitar music to then having a mix release that was properly kind of acid house, even though Vince Clarke himself, not so much an acid house artist, but the way it came out just kind of made it that sound. And it wasn't until after that, and they'd had what's it called? Not Pete Tong. God, name's gone out of my mind. But one of the other remixes where they took it more to the dance floor, and then their whole sound shifted to the dance floor sound, away from their first album, 24-Hour Party People. So yeah, that's definitely where I'd be up and dancing. But I'll never hear anyone play that version.
Well, I think, like I say, I'd just have to go for 808 State, I think.
Yeah.
Just interesting quote from Graham Massey, who formed the band. In the bio on the Festive 50 wiki, he says it was actually down to John Peel that Quadrastraight came out. He used to come up to Manchester to scout out new records, and we had a meeting with him in a cafe nearby. That was the legendary student boho hangout, Affleck's Palace. We'd already had word that they wanted us to do a session, so we'd already been working on some ideas. We said to him we'd do it, but could we do it at home, because we really didn't think we could do what we wanted to do at the BBC. But the BBC said we had to do it there or not at all. So in the end, it never actually happened. So there you go. Part of the sessions that never actually happened. Right. I think there might be an obvious answer staring us in the face here, but what would Taylor Swift cover on her album 1989 in the new version? Is it The Sundays Can't Be Sure?
It would be very good for her. Vocally, it would be very good for her.
Yeah.
It's right in her wheelhouse, and it's lyrically very, very much her kind of thing as well. But I'm not sure. She'd have to get someone in to do the guitar part, because that's not her guitar style. But
no.
Yeah, lyrically, yeah, that's definitely where she's going, and not just because it's another female singer, but it's her. Harriet Wheeler's voice has got something of that same tone to it.
The same timbre.
Yeah.
Maybe Field Mice as well. Maybe she could do a bit of.
I think maybe a bit too fade for her.
Ah, right, okay. I'm damning her with fey and praise. Yeah, I'm not seeing, and the out there one for her to do, maybe one of the Morrisseys, because it's based on, maybe Interesting Drug, maybe.
Or Last of the Famous would probably be a very poignant song for her.
Indeed, yes. Well picked. What about Pigs times 7? What are they? I think
Easy for them would be enough.
Right. And Dinosaur Jr. probably as well.
Yeah, that's a bit too obvious.
Yeah, Mudhoney's very obvious as well.
I think possibly Here Comes Your Man.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Because it's got the guitar that they really go with, but it's kind of the poppy thing. I think Here Comes Your Man was probably the Pixies' their most pop single, not the one that's now become their millstone, but to me it felt like I think it was the first one I heard of theirs, and I was like, ooh, I think that was their first track. that I heard.
Yeah.
And I think that the sort of radio friendliness of that would interest Pigs times 7 to do something more interesting. Yeah.
To invest their time and money and studio.
Yes.
Into it. And finally, final category, of course, is what are you picking to do at karaoke?
Too many choices. Any of the Morrissey songs.
Yeah, Playboys that's the famous international Playboys. Probably a good shout, I think. Yeah.
I really want to think I could do I Know, but I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, we all like to think we'd be able to do I Know.
Yeah.
But anything else other than Morrissey?
I Want to Be Adored?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. It's just that with the Stone Roses, the music just so dominates the
That's because he can't sing very well.
Well, yeah, partly that. It's such a dominating factor in the whole, the whole of the song. I did see something there that maybe Galaxy 500. Just because I'm not sure I know that song so well. That's not one of the songs I know of theirs that well. So
yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
No, I just realised what it'd be. What? Senseless Things, Too Much Kissing.
Yeah, is that your definite choice?
Definite choice.
Okay, you're definitely having that. Well, I will take Playboys, Last of the International Playboys then.
Fair enough.
Because it's very much I don't know, if you had to say, if you said to a Morrissey fan, what's the most karaoke, and what was the first one that, what was the first Morrissey song that kind of had you singing? It would probably be that. Was it the first single?
No, Suede Head was the first single.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that's. But I think that was. But it definitely did well in the charts, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was the third single. I've got a feeling it had Mike Joyce on it, and Andy Rourke and Mike Joyce were still playing with him then. So I think that's the reason why it sounds so much better than stuff that came later, is because it was still basically the Smiths, but with Vinnie Riley playing guitar.
Well, there you go. And I mentioned Galaxy 500 there. And apparently, I didn't know this, Peel played a number of memorable cover versions by the band. One of them being a cover of the Ruttles Cheese and Onions. Now,
all right.
I would pay good money to own that. see if there's a version of that somewhere on the internet.
I'll have to look it up. See if it is a recorded version, or just a one that they did a cover of live kind of thing.
So he played it on the 26th of January 1991, according to the show listings. There you go. How about that? Followed it with Rides 8 Miles High.
Another cover.
Yeah, well, indeed, yeah. So there you go. That was the festival. And if there's anything else you want to say about 1989, the number.
I saw Senseless Things on their last ever show that they did. They did a Reformation thing, and it was recently shown. Where did they show? They showed it as a film in London somewhere with really limited tickets, and it sold out in seconds. But me and Carl went to see that their last show before Mark Keds died, and it was you know how sometimes when you see a band reform and they do their old stuff and you go, it was good, but you have aged enough to go, maybe that's a bit out of your... They were spot on, absolutely. The place was mental. The whole gig was perfect. And I think everyone left and went, oh, that means they're going to record something else. And then very soon afterwards, Keds died. So nothing was done after that. And
what a shame. What a shame.
Yeah. If you follow them on Facebook, it's actually run by two of the ex-members of the band. So whatever you see on there is always correct. You can never guessed stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's a shame you don't see enough of them, because they were, I don't know how familiar you are with them, but they did a thing called Homophobic Arsehole, which is just absolutely brilliant. And it's about a time when Mark was in the States and he was chatting to someone about music and everything was going really well. And then this guy happened to say something about gays, and he was like, right, nope, this is good. And he just walked off and then wrote this song about that kind of this interaction he had. And when they play it live, the speed they played at, you think, surely you must be knotting your fingers up, and the drummer was always 100 miles an hour. And yeah, I've got a lot of love for Sense of Things, and I don't think they get anywhere near enough playtime and recognition.
Well, there you go. I have to admit that, yeah, I'm not a massive fan and don't know a lot about them, but maybe I'll give them a bit more of a go. And talking of interesting song titles that are by a band that was in here, but a song that wasn't in here. Of course, Family Cat had a song called, and we'll have this as our final note, Bring Me the Head of Michael Portillo.
Yes.
Could have saved us all a lot of trouble if that had happened.
But all those TV programs on trains would never got made.
Yeah, with him and his turning up to somewhere making, I don't know, shortbread in his red kecks. God almighty. Right. Just time enough for us to pick the next year. I will run my grubby finger up and down the spreadsheet, and you tell me when to stop, and I'll tell you what year we've got.
Now.
Oh, 1984.
Oh.
So we're not going back too far, and we're not going too far into the festive 50 years. But
no,
just a quick glance. Jesus Christ, what a year! What a year! I think, looking at it, I have a lot of these records. So that's going to be an absolute doozy. And I think, again, one of the times when you were start to buy records, and our taste started to converge and also diverge, in interesting ways. So yeah, that's going to be a goodie. But hope you've enjoyed this show. It's goodbye from me.
And from me.
And we'll see you next
time. Devon.
We'll see you next time on the Festive 50.